Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the only podcast with a 10-1-1 record. Got that little extra one in there. Joining me back in the lab is at Danny Webb at AGSAU. How are you, mate?
It feels weird not being able to touch you, I'm not going to lie.
It is a little bit strange, yeah. Charles, it's a busy time of the year. School holidays has stuff to sort out. So we're back in the lab, but that's all right. We're here to smash out what was a massive week 4 with some huge storylines.
Absolutely massive, and apologies that we didn't get a review episode out when we should have. It's just sometimes life gets in the way, but we're back, and we'll try and do a review preview all in one.
Yeah, life is life sometimes, and that's what it is. But we carry on. Massive, like we said, massive week 4. Some of these storylines that have come out of it, mate, that I've kind of picked the eyes out of, the Seahawks and the Steelers. I think they've both claimed a pretty big win for their division. Seahawks joining the Rams and the 49ers at 3-1. And the Steelers going 3-1, and they're now that the Bengals we've said they're done, and the Ravens dropping to 1-3, huge.
Yeah, major shock that the Ravens have dropped to 1-3. A lot of people had them as heading to the Super Bowl, but Lamar doesn't really like this whole pressure thing. But more importantly, the Steelers. And how I wish Charlie, our special guest, was here to be able to talk about this. Aaron Rodgers has taken the Steelers to 3-1. He went out into Dublin, had a massive win against the Vikings in like quite a tight fought game, and it's now 3-1. I did not have that on my bingo card before the season started.
I think I was the only one out of the three of us that did have this on our bingo card. It was I actually stayed up and watched a little bit of it, which was stupid me because then it made it extremely hard to get up at the 3 a.m. or stay up for the 3 a.m. Rodgers throwing 8, not in one game, 8 for the year. He's tied third for touchdown passes. Hard to say he's washed.
Hard to say he's washed. He is a grandpa, and you do still have a poster of him on your bedroom wall at the ripe old age of whatever you are. We'll keep that secret between us.
I am younger than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, you are younger, but you're probably the oldest person to have a poster of him on your wall.
That's fine. Did you see there's a photo of him and the video of him going around. They did the tush push, and he wanted none of it. Was just at the back, fingers in the air, pointing that it was a first down.
Well, because he doesn't need to be involved with that. Like, you got to think he's an old man. If he bends down that far, he might not ever get back up.
Nah, you're right. And the Seahawks, key win last Friday, their game. Like I said, just keeping in touch in that pretty big NFC West.
Yeah, like anytime you're having like a divisional game like that, going up against the Cardinals, it's super important to walk away with a W, and they're always tighter than we think. We say they're going to be tight, then we get a little bit excited, especially on the punt, because we're like, we think we can win big here. And they're always those tight-fought games.
The Giants and Jaxson Dart getting huge W that I don't think anyone except for Giants, well, even Giants fans probably didn't pick it, against the Chargers, but a bit of a soured one with they lost Malik Neighbors for the year with an ACL.
Yeah, so Jaxson Dart coming in massive, and I love this. Like, his first opportunity to get a touchdown pass, and what does he do? He runs it on his feet. And then just gives it to the crowd like no tomorrow. Like, Jaxson Dart, New York fans have to be so excited for this. So that not only does he go in and get out his first W, but he goes and does it against the Chargers defense, which we've been so high on all year, saying how good it is. And he goes out and gets it done against them. And he was all about it, loving the crowd. He ended up throwing a touchdown pass and got down to field goal range a couple of times. The defense actually stood up huge, the Giants. You got to give him a huge shout out for that. But is it worth it? Is the W worth it? And is Jaxson Dart worth it if you lose Neighbors?
Yeah, it's a real kick in the plums, that one. But I think it is. Well, hard to say it's worth it, but it's still a trade-off. Huge win. Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think it's not because they got the win. That's not why he's down. So, it is a bit of a kick in the plums for not only him, fantasy football, and just anyone who wants. Malik Neighbors is a superstar, so the fact that we're losing him is shit. But mate, Dart coming out, and he's not going to play like that every week. But he was loving himself, and I heard a rumor. You're a bit more over the. I'm probably over the Instagrams. You're over the X more than me. He apparently posted a photo of Madison Beer, which is Justin Herbert's girlfriend, the night before the game. Did you hear this rumor?
Wow, I did not hear it, did not see it, but I love the fact he's playing mind game. He is playing like as if he was the first number one pick. Like he's going out there being like, I am the man.
Yeah.
And if he's posting photos like that, just trying to get in Justin Herbert's head, you gotta love it. I honestly bring more of the WWE into the
NFL. Except for the scripted part, we don't want that.
Well, they're trying their best. The script writers are really trying their best.
Scripted. It sounds like it is scripted by the next game. The Packers Cowboys. My Packers. I was on edge ever since we scored our second touchdown that got blocked and they ran it back for 2 points. Just after that, we never looked settled. Our both offenses, defense didn't matter, didn't exist. There was no defense in this game. The fact that we had the second highest tying score game of all time, I think it's the highest since like 1985 or something like that. So something ridiculous. Defense wasn't real.
Defense did not exist, and I sent this to multiple people. One, I sent it to you and our group, but more importantly, a couple of other punty boys that we get on with, and I was just like, defense doesn't exist in this game. Like, it didn't happen, and I think Micah Parsons was actually paying $2.20 to not sack Dak, which is crazy. Like, that's how many people were on him to sack him. And he got close at one point. He did. He, finger brushed him right towards the end. It was really important. He did stop a touchdown, rush from Dak. But I don't think it technically counted.
That was given as a sack.
Oh, so it was paid as a sack, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't go deep diving on that. Yeah, well, a lot of people would have got paid out. Everyone was on Micah to sack Dak. But I mentioned this to you. If you're coming out of that game where you played no defense against a Cowboys team that actually kind of ran all over you and you walked away with a draw, you've won.
It didn't feel like a win. I tell you that at the time, you and Charlie were both in me. I was like, I'm not happy. I don't want to talk about this. Let's not stop poking the bear. It was a Sunday night game. There was nothing else afterwards. Look, the Cowboys have still never beaten us in AT&T Stadium, so that's one thing in Jerry World. He's never beaten us there. So yeah, look, I did think we looked really good to start with, and yeah, we've seen them, and they did against yourself. They didn't against the Bears, which really annoys me. But they were throwing the ball around against you. I know CeeDee Lamb had a couple of drops. Obviously, didn't play against us, but we've seen that they still can move the ball. And shit, they moved it with ease against us. But Dak got a little. He's got his feathers up, and he was up and about.
George Pickens is really proving himself that he can be a number one wide receiver. He was absolutely massive, and he was playing lights out. He was playing a blinding game, running perfect routes, catching uncatchable balls, and making Dak look good. So any wide receiver that's doing that, he played phenomenal. He's actually such a great pickup for the Cowboys. For everything that they did wrong in the offseason, he is perfect for him.
Especially now that CD's out for a couple. Chiefs, they humbled the Ravens. Chiefs getting a bit of life back in, but the Ravens are injured all over the park. Lamar, a hammy, looks like a couple of weeks at least. So the Ravens done.
It's going to be really hard. So, as soon as Lamar goes out, really hurts my fantasy team. And that's what everyone really comes to listen to the podcast for, is to me complain about my one and only league that I'm in. And I had Lamar and no backup QB, because why do you need a backup QB when you got Lamar? But the Ravens are the same, really. If they don't have Lamar out there, and when they did, they were 1-3, what are they going to be without him? They're only going to keep on dropping in that win-loss category. And, before you know it, it is going to be completely out of their hands. Good news-ish, I guess, for the Chiefs. They did beat up on a beat-up Ravens team. It's good to see some life back in them. Mahomes doing Mahomes things, and he's trying. He really is. He's doing everything he can to get those Kansas City boys across the line.
Just having a look. Cooper Rush is the backup QB for the Ravens.
Cooper Rush, was he the backup QB for Dallas last year? I reckon he was.
Yeah, he has been. Big red.
Yeah.
That's not what you want, though, is it?
No. I feel like someone's got to pick up the phone and start calling Jameis Winston. Get him back on.
Jameis Winston is getting a lot of love from a lot of different teams. Well, that's what we're saying anyway, but no one's calling him. Get him on the phone. Get him out there. We need Jameis playing. He's going to throw you 30 touchdowns, but he'll throw you 30 interceptions too. It's great.
Him and Kirk. If the Ravens called Atlanta and be like, give us Kirk Cousins, we need him, then we might be having a different story, having a different chat.
We don't have them to talk about, but Atlanta switched it too, and they got a good W. So Michael Penix throwing for 300 and getting the win. So it's a real up and down battle there.
So Michael Penix obviously listens to the podcast and heard us poo-poo him a little bit, and then he was like, you know what, I got to turn it on and prove the boys wrong.
Yeah, AGS, what do you know? Actually, quite a lot because you turned it on once we talked to you. And the last thing, you sent me this. I did hear about it, didn't see it live because there was 2 games going on the Monday night slot, and we had interest in the Broncos game, so we're watching that one a bit. You sent me the video of Tyreek's gruesome injury. So not just a dislocated kneecap, a dislocated knee. His foot was pointing the wrong way.
Yeah, his foot was pointing the wrong way, and you could see like his femur, like almost trying to poke out of his tights. It was
those black jerseys. They look sick, but geez, it didn't look good for the knee.
No, so like I'm not a squeamish person, and I watched that and I flinched. I was like, oh, like because anytime you see a body part bend so far in the wrong direction, it was a horrific, gruesome injury, and he's not only dislocated his knee, he's torn his ACL and multiple other ligaments in his knee. That surgeon is like, if he's really into that, he's going to have a great day. Like,
what am I playing with here? What am I working with?
He's got to rebuild the knee from ground up. Like, I don't know if he can sew that many tendons back together.
This is his calf. What is going on?
Realistically, for Tyreek, who was like teetering off a little bit, we don't know if that's Tua's fault or Tyreek or however that was looking, but he wasn't playing the football that he was when he was playing at the Chiefs. Now he's got this injury, which has got to be minimum 12 months before he comes back.
Yeah. How bad it is probably looking worse, really. You're the doctor, you know.
But does he come back is the real question. And if he does come back, is he coming back to the Dolphins, or is he going to try and come back and rehab somewhere else?
This was actually he started to look pretty good in too. You know, he had it was 60 plus at least yards. Like, he was back.
And a few of them were yards after catch too, which is something he hasn't really been getting. Like, if he has been getting yards, it's been like quick hit straight away as soon as he catches the ball. But this was like a couple of catch, turn and runs, and he was showing some jets. Not no more.
OBJ has come out too, and obviously he had knee troubles throughout his career. He says, surely for the safety, it's all about safety. It was on a turf field. Get rid of turf. Let's just go to all grass everywhere.
It's got to happen. Like, I don't know what we have to do to the NFL and shout them out in every way, but like, enforce it. Just make it grass, and whatever you have to do to get it just as a full grass field has to be done.
Because it was his foot. You watch the video, his foot got stuck, and then he was going down. It was his old body weight, but the fact that his cleats were stuck in the turf, they just didn't move, and he went that way, and his leg went that way.
Yeah, get rid of the turf. Let's go full grass.
All right. Let's move into this week, mate. We've got some big games coming up. We keep saying it week after week, Week 1 was incredible. Week 2 followed up just as good. Week 3 and now week 4, there's been some absolute thrilling games, and games we weren't really expecting, whether it's a 40-40 tie or a blowout in other games. But I've picked a couple of games and just, well, 3. Some games I reckon there could be some upsets, and the first one is your 4-0 Eagles. You're at home against the 2-2 Broncos. I don't hate the Broncos in this matchup.
Don't you say upset? Don't you just be upset because your team's got a loss and a draw next to their name, where mine's 4-0, and so is at Charlie Pick, our special guest who can't be here today. He's also at 4-0. So there's 2 boys on the podcast. And there is 2 undefeated teams in the entire league, and they just
all I know is as a group we're 10-1-1, mate. That's how we roll.
One team, one dream, baby. No, the Broncos did show some life when they absolutely beat the Bengals. They Bo Nix coming into his own, doing it on the ground, in the air. You got J.K. Dobbins who's getting a bunch of rushing yards, and they
first 100-yard game for like 38 games for them. 100-yard rushing game.
He is they're just looking good. They're looking like a complete team. Their defense was firing. I reckon they had 2 very unlucky losses, and it kind of came down to a couple of mistakes from Bo Nix. So if he tidies that up, but then you do the flip side, the Eagles' defense is actually finally starting to get back to like a Vic Fangio sort of style of defense, where yes, okay, we did get beat up for one half against the Rams, but then fought back and kept them scoreless for majority of the second half.
A very good Rams side too.
But the Eagles really need to sort out their offense. Like, why are we only playing one half of good offense? Against the Rams, it was the second half, and this week it was the first half. And, the whole time, I thought, we're potentially going to lose this in the second half of this week, but managed to just hang on. But it wasn't a comfortable watch by any means. So as long as the Eagles kind of sort out their offensive woes and be able to play a full game of offense, that'd be nice. And then we might actually have a chance. But playing at home always has a major difference. That 12th man, Lincoln Financial Field, God, that's a rough stadium to play in as an opposing team.
You are 4-point favourites, but like you said, at home gives you that little bit of advantage. You're right in you saying just a couple of stupid mistakes or immature mistakes is why the Broncos are 2-2. This could quite comfortably be a 4-0 matchup here.
Completely. And then we will be talking about 3 undefeated teams and soon to be 2.
I did like, and a lot of people hated it, but using the tush push as a bit of a fake to give it to Saquon, who just nearly backflipped into the end zone.
That was perfect. It was a perfect design play. They didn't run a single tush push last week. Not one.
Well, didn't need to. Ran that one. They just ran it differently.
Well, no, it wasn't a tush push. No tushes were pushed. I can't say that twice. But it was a perfect little dish out to Saquon for him to run in. And I reckon you're going to see a little bit more trickery as time goes on with that. So then, teams will figure out eventually how to stop the tush push. But if you have a trick play connected to the tush push, now we're cooking.
They're only going to figure it out by getting you banned because you're the only team that can do it successfully by the looks of it, which is shit when you get, one play that's so awesome that everyone else wants it banned. But you're obviously, is 4 points enough? They're a classic down to the wire team, the Broncos, so is 4 points enough?
And so are the Eagles at this point. We are only just scraping by a lot of teams that we should comfortably be winning. So I'd take -2.5 and I'd jump on at -4. I'm probably going to step away.
Yep. Yeah. Being at home really has me swayed towards you guys, but yeah, I'd like it closer to that field goal, if I'm honest. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Broncos are going to give you some trouble. I really do this week. So they've got some really good DBs, and like you said, you're not firing on all cylinders in the offense. So could be the week you turn it around, but I wouldn't hate a Broncos upset. I won't lie to you. I'm not going to pick them, but I wouldn't hate it if they did.
You're just trying to bring me down.
No.
Let the birds fly.
I put up this Broncos helmet in the background for a reason.
Hey, and the worst part is, I'm a Bo Nix softie. So
yeah.
I want to see the Broncos succeed. Just not this week. Any other week but this week.
Yeah. Jeremy Crawshaw playing pretty well too. So shout out to him for getting some job done at the Broncos. The next game, 3-1 Bucs against the 3-1 Seahawks at the 3-1 Seahawks. -3.5 favourites, Seahawks. Again, that home game kind of favouritism, but I'm a little bit surprised that the Seahawks are the ones that are favourites. Maybe being favourites, but closer to that, 1.5, 2 points.
Yeah, after the Bucs went down last week, I just can't see them coming out and I know they're playing away. I understand the pressures of that, and that is massive. I just can't see the way Baker Mayfield gets in his own head. He is his ultimate hype man. And the fact he's just lost, he's going to be telling himself all sorts of wild stories to make sure that he goes out there and has a dominant game. The Seahawks have, really pushed the limit of realistically where I thought they were going to be, but they're just kind of they're just always thereabouts. But give the Bucs that little bit of motivation. I reckon they're going to come chomping. I'm actually, you know what? I don't care about the 3.5 line. Give me the Bucs for the W.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you're right that Baker talks to himself. Even if they were 3.5 point favourites, he'd be telling himself he's 3.5 point underdogs. We're obviously pretty big Baker fans on this podcast, so I think having Godwin out still, I don't know if he played on the weekend. I don't think he did, but that's obviously going to be a big thing when he finally gets back, gets a bit of rhythm. I don't like the 3.5 point line. I think it's closer than that. He's played the first 3 games were all won just as the siren was going, as the final whistle. He keeps it close. So even if they do get done, it's under 3.5 easily. So I'm going to go the Bucs. Well, you're going to take it. I'll take them in the line just to be a bit soft. But I think it's going to be a cracking game though. Like you said, the Seahawks just there and about, and they love playing in front of the 12.
Yeah, so it's going to be super tight. Don't get me wrong, but I reckon the Bucs are going to win this on a final drive. Make it 4 from 4 wins on final drives for Baker Mayfield.
And the last game's the Monday. We got buys this week too, so 4 teams on buys. My Packers are one of them. I know the Bears. I don't know the other 2. Maybe the Steelers. Falcons. The Chiefs, 2-2 Chiefs at the 3-1 Jags. Chiefs are 3.5-point favourites. I like this game because this is going to see where the Jags are at. We've said it week after week. This is the one they stumble. This is the one they stumble. Their one loss came at the hands of 3/4 of Browning at the Bengals. Like, they turn that game around. They're 4-0, which is you're the only person in the world that saw this happening.
Which is great credit to me, and obviously I know football. But that one game that they did lose to the Bengals, I know we're jumping back a few weeks here. Anytime a team loses their starting quarterback, it's not uncommon for the whole team to get around and prove that, to that starting quarterback has just gone down, that we are a winning side and we'll help you win no matter who you put in as the QB. So the fact Browning did come in, the Bengals were already hungry enough for that, and obviously got past the Jags and got it done. So shout out to the Bengals for actually doing that. But I agree with you. This Jags team could potentially have been a 4-0 team. Coming in against a Chiefs team that's really struggling, and it's in Jacksonville, where it's been hot. It has been hot in Florida. You saw it in the Eagles-Bucs game. They had shade sails up. They were talking that they were doing IVs before the game just to make sure they were hydrated. It is hot at the moment down in Florida. So, you gotta keep that in mind as Kansas City is traveling down there. It will play a major factor. And this Jags team is already training down there. They're acclimatized. They're acclimatized to Florida. But, man, not giving them the little nudge at home when the Chiefs have been struggling and the line's in the Chiefs' favor. If that was me, I'd be fired up about that game.
I know the Chiefs got a bit of confidence out of the weekend. Good for them. There's life. There's definitely a heartbeat. But the Ravens are banged up. Realistically, they should have done what they did. So is this a little bit of a pushing it too far?
I'm going to take the Jags on this one, and I am not even that worried about it. I think with the way that the Chiefs have been playing, yes, they had a good game last week, but unless they're going to dramatically keep on improving on that, the Jags are just a good side, and I just want to prove the whole world wrong. Let them be a 4-1 team.
So, just having a look, it's going to be 25 degrees and thunderstorms.
Amazing. Awesome. That's going to be great watching. It's going to be a slippery ball out there.
That is Florida weather if I've ever heard it.
Oh, yeah. Mate, bring the storms coming. Let's see what Mahomes does in this storm.
Travis Etienne. I try and say that one quickly. He was on fire on the weekend too. So bringing him in the backfield. I know Chris Jones was a little bit banged up and there was a chance he wasn't going to line up on the defense for the Chiefs. He did get up for the game, but he's only going to get he's not a spring chicken anymore. So the biggest man on the Chiefs defense a little bit banged up. Xavier Worthy coming back, though, he was huge for the Chiefs. And we said that when he got back, we thought he was going to make a real difference, and it showed on the weekend.
Yeah, and it did. He did. He's back and they got a W. There's no point pretending there's not a correlation between those two things. Mahomes needed another receiver, and he got him back. And before we know it, Rashee Rice is going to be back too. So we are going to be talking about a different Chiefs team in the next 2 weeks. But hopefully for my predictions, for my early hot takes, I need the Jags to keep on getting dubs.
We need a 4-1 Jags. One thing I don't think you came across, so this will be completely live reactions. Your man Travis Hunter spent a lot less time on the ball, on defense side of the ball. I think it was 6 out of 60 snaps or something, around that kind of mark, where he spent a lot more as wide receiver 2, 1 and 2. Had a few catches for some good yards and some couple of good one-handed catches too. So does it surprise you to hear that he's kind of been benched a little bit?
No, so obviously he's just not performing as a cornerback, and no one's ever done it before. It's not no one really should be shocked here if they're you know what, you're actually just better if we rest you and you just play wide receiver. You're performing better and you're getting better numbers. So just utilize him where he's best set. So turns out it's wide receiver.
It's also 4 games in, so let's let him. I said that, which was one of my big worries. If he's playing 80% snaps every game, your body's going to be cooked pretty quickly. So they haven't made any comments about it, but you never know whether it's just a let's ease him into it or if he actually is struggling and we'll drop him. Another thing, which you had this guy up there for Coach of the Year, Liam Cohen. Did you see he had a little bit of a argument with old Salah as they were walking off the ground? I think there was handshakes and then, a bit of jawing as they were leaving.
Yeah, it was so good. Let's have it. Let's have more jawing. We love this.
Players actually had to hold them apart, which is huge. I love Liam Cohen. Kind of got that little bit of a, with his shit Duval, he kind of, looked like the nerdy kid in the corner, but he held his own.
And what a way to represent your team when you do hold your own in situations like that. Like, he's going out, he's fighting, he's trying to prove to his boys, his lads, that he's a fighter and that they all should be fighting too. It's not necessarily the best role model if you don't get a few flags thrown, but what a way to motivate your team.
3-1, so it's motivating enough. But some other interesting games, just a quick from you about them. 49ers at Rams. 49ers pretty banged up, but they're both 3-1, so this is a big game for the NFC West.
So I'm not going to go too deep into it because it is part of my First Down Friday, which we'll get to in a little bit. But because they are banged up on defense, just look at that. Look at Kyren Williams. Look at that running back room for the Rams, and maybe do a cheeky little ladder.
You see the? Oh, actually, we didn't say. You did say Jags, didn't you? I think the Jags will get the job done too. I'll just point that out. Rams Niners quickly.
The Rams. The Niners are too banged up, and it's in LA.
In LA. I put Commanders Chargers. Now, Commanders seem to be going backwards a little bit. Whether Jaden Daniels is fit and healthy back, he wasn't. Marcus Mariota led them on the weekend. They lost. And the Chargers now coming off this is 2 games at SoFi, a big weekend at SoFi. Like needing a bounce back W here that we didn't expect from them. So how do you see this game going?
Yeah, the Chargers are probably going to come out and smoke this, unfortunately. Sorry for all your Commanders fans out there hoping that they're going to come into LA. I just can't see it happening. The Chargers shouldn't have realistically lost to the Giants. It would have come as a big shock. And maybe a little bit as a wake-up call. But sometimes you need to lose that game to then, really get to the point where, you're performing and firing on all cylinders. And I reckon the Chargers are going to come out and smoke them.
Pats at Bills. I've got this one down there. Charlie's not here, obviously, to talk Bills for 45 minutes, which is good. I just think this is a real danger game. Pats, it's the divisional game, regardless. Bills should come out and smoke them, like you were just saying. Divisional games, we always say it's going to be blown away, and then we saw it a couple of weeks ago with the Dolphins. They keep it tight. They play each other twice a year. They know each other. I reckon this is primed for an upset.
You are completely right. With any game like this, the Pats, this is the game that the Bills will lose because they're going in. They're going to expect that they're going to probably walk away with quite an easy W. But the Pats might come in and just absolutely shock them. And then everyone will be like, oh my God, what's happened to the Bills? But it's just a divisional game. They're tougher. They're so hard to pick. There's no easy, clear-cut favorite. It's just tougher football. So it's going to be a big, big week for the Bills if they want to stay undefeated.
Stephon Diggs' revenge game too.
So, once again, my favorite fantasy team had him on the bench, pulled him up, promoted him to the main field because, revenge game. Like, I know he's played for the Texans since then, and now he's at the Pats, but he's back in that division, so it's going to be really good to see how he performs going back into Buffalo.
Absolutely, I like it. Time for our First Down Friday, brought to us by our good friends at Unibet. Make sure you hit us up for our link. It's the only way you're going to find all of our exclusive bets and just have a bit of good fun with this because we got heaps of bets that we're putting up week to week, clubhouse picks, First Down Fridays, and our Hail Mary Mondays. Let's not forget about those. Yours was very close, but you kind of got stuffed a little bit with a few Dolphins picks, but that's all right. We are 1-1 because my First Down Friday got up last week. I didn't deliberately wait until it was 1-1, but it's just worked out that way. But I do have a couple of little graphics that'll go up online, just because why not? It is back to you. You do have the unfortunate task of having the banged up 49ers in a divisional game, which kind of makes it a little bit tougher as well.
Yeah, so it's super tough. Like, you reached out to me, like, surely putting everything on Puka, but, he has no value. Like, I think you got to go, 8+ receptions before you even getting, $1.18 or $1.20. It's just... And with the 49ers, actually have quite a good passing defense. So they allow a lot of passes to tight ends, but, Matthew Stafford doesn't necessarily love his tight ends that much. So I've just steered clear completely of all of that. And I've gone relatively safe. So Kyren Williams has hit 50+ rushing yards in his past 20 games. The last time he played the Niners, he was like 100 yards, and the time before that, he was like 86. So I've thrown him in for 60. So we've gone slightly above what he's hit for the past 20 games, but he hasn't dropped below 60 yet this year. I can just see him actually running away with this. Like I said, look at the ladder. Like, look at that 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. But that's probably for a separate bet. Keep that out of the first down Friday. So I've just got him in for 60 rushing yards. And then you got to throw CMC in there as well, because the 49ers haven't been perfect against the rush. They've been okay, but hit and miss. A lot of QB pressure from like Jared Verse and stuff like that. So I can see CMC getting away with a sneaky couple of yards. So I've thrown him in for 50 yards. He was, for plus 40 yards, he's sitting around that 20-game streak as well. So I've just got another 10 yards on top of it because I wanted to get above that $2 mark. So we're at $2.23 for that, and that is your first down Friday.
Juicy. I like it. Just ground and pound. It is a ground and pound kind of. And you always see on the back of, short weeks, they're going to rely on their running backs a lot. So I hate to say it because it's a competition, but I like this bet a lot. It's really, really nice. I will come through with a nice, juicy, winning Hail Mary Monday, mate. Don't you worry about that. But like I said, hit us up. Find our links. However, it's on our link tree. At Danny Webb AGSAU on Twitter. I don't even know what mine is. At TMac AGSAU probably. I'm in there. You tag me and shit all the time. So back next week, mate. We will be back with the two again. Life will go back to normal a little bit. So Charlie will be back on board. Look forward to seeing you then, mate.
Can't wait. And fly Eagles fly, baby.
Ooh, change it up.